Good morning, evening, family. I'm your friendly announcer, and I got some serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster. It's gonna turn your joy and laughter to tears and pain. Love is in need of love today. Don't sleep on it. Don't delay. Send yours in right away. 'Cause hate's going round. It's breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Yeah. Mm, Oh, oh, oh. Okay, that's enough. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. Welcome to the Mental House. I am your host, Khadijah. Okay, you know, some wise guy was got kind of offended about a video that I made a couple days ago. I usually don't even address stuff like this. I don't think I do. If I do, it it's like water off a duck's ass. Oops, off a duck's behind. Um, but we live in a society where Caucasian people refuse to own up to the horrible shit that they did in the past, which leads to the disshell behaviors and mentality of black people today. So with that being said, um I really do believe that. By the way, I heard Zoe say that, Zoe Williams, and it's the truth. Because someone got mad at me the other day because I mentioned um Chicago's gangsters on a video that I did, as opposed to the black on black crime that's going on right there. And I think that you're missing totally, entirely the whole point. The point of the video was we have to get rid of some of those types. I understand that. I was making no excuses, and I'm not making any excuses for the diabolical behavior that's going on in Chicago. But I also know that hurt people hurt, okay? And I also know that some people can't be saved. I know poverty breeds, it's poison. And unless you ever lived in that type of mental poison and mental um, prison that mm, most black folks in urban areas have to live in or get through in, um, then you'll never understand the point. Because I'm not making excuses for bad behavior. I never will, and I just never put a face on negativity. Because when I see the control group trying to put the face of anger, of anything that's destructive on people that look like me, then I have to say something. Because I realize that that's just a narcissistic behavior and projecting it onto my clan, when really I don't, me and my people that are here in America, we don't have a history of going over and taking over people's countries. We don't have a history of, we don't even have weapons. We don't even have planes to fly drugs in or any of those things, guns. So I realize that we're being set up by the larger society, yet we're being blamed for everything. And we're made to function in the worst of conditions. And the white losers, too. I mean, who they consider losers, or um, not in that 1% white trash, I should say. Um, but my point is, you cannot, even in that situation, if I have a next door neighbor and he's Caucasian and I'm white, we both come from the same hood and we know each other. And if we was to say crime, and we could be standing side by side, and he could be have broken into every house on the block. When you say crime and we're standing next to each other, people are going to usually identify with my face and color first and say, "Oh, that's the criminal." It's just the way it is. And that's what happens when you have to get into the amygdala and do that kind of work. The kind of work that's necessary to beat yourself out of white supremacy. Because where I lose it with all these new age, and I ain't gonna even say new age, with these people that are, and then I don't want to sound disrespectful, because I respect each and every person that's trying to do some uplifting for the human race. I do. And I just know that in what race I came through, but I realized that individually, we all have certain beauties that are all our own, and I do believe that we were made into different tribes and different families that we may get to know one another. I hate it again when people say, and I know I'm a little all over the place, but I hate when people say I don't see color, and again I tell you that really irks me, because I see your color and I want you to see mine. I want you to see it, and I want to wear it proudly, just like you should wear yours. But that don't mean we should disrespect and antagonize one another because of it. I think my race and my people have made some very good contributions. Hell, we built this country. However brutally it was forced on us, but we did. And in my opinion, America is just a hybrid culture. It's really slave culture. You listen to our music. We gave literature. We gave all that to you. The family, the human family. So that's something to be proud of. But that's not nothing for me to be antagonistic about and to torture other people about, because then I would be wrong. I know who I be. Okay. Um, so even on a personal level or on a spiritual level, if I know who I am, then what you say doesn't really affect me. But now what happens is, when what you're saying is a lie, and it does begin to affect me in anything that looks like me. So when I see my Caucasian brothers being happy about their accomplishments and the things that they've given to the world, that's a good thing. Okay, and none of these things should be uh, uh, exalted for us to hate one another. They should be uh, uh, another linchpin for us to find common ground. Of course, we see that's not the case. And I'm saying all that because when you see a lot of these new age people, they start going, well, you just have to see past the racism. You just have to see. I'm like, listen, don't you say nothing to me unless you walked a mile in my shoes. Because see, all that's fake stuff. Be, if Dr. King had never did what he did as a minister, we'd probably still be eating, doing whatever the hell else. A lot of people think that he should have done it, but that's neither here nor there. But if he hadn't took the courage to speak out on the conditions of Jim Crow and all that kind of stuff like that, y'all would still be happy with the way the world was running, because you can kind of see whatever strides that we've made as a people. Power conceded nothing without a demand. That's what Frederick Douglass said. So you guys have set this country up kind of like the way you want to, and you wanted us to be perpetual slaves. Okay, so, and guess what? As time go on, people get more wiser, and we're just not having it. We realize how America, this corporation, is set up now. So, but what really, I guess, disturbs me is somebody got upset about that video, saying that I was making excuses for it. I'm like, how did you get that out of there? Here's what is a bigger problem to me. Both of these individual officers are white. One name is Stephen Motor, and the other one was Daniel Pantelio, I believe. Daniel Pantelio got uh, a raise, and now he's making $120,000 a year plus his overtime for killing Eric Gardner. His records aren't being released. Erica Gardner, which is Eric's daughter, is on a mission. Nobody's hearing her. This is the same song and dance, the same dog and pony show over and over and over again. Okay, so we should be used to this by now. But because there's no connection between us and our mother and our relatives over in Africa, and they've done just a big disservice of not representing us. There's no connection. Because like I said, they wouldn't be doing Chinese people like this, or Japanese people for that matter, Chinese American, hanging them and shooting them down. They wouldn't dare do this to them. Anyway, I've digressed. I've changed the subject. These two officers, Daniel Pantelio is responsible for killing Eric Gardner. He got $120,000 a year. Now he's got a raise. There's another officer, and I told you his name was what? Stephen Mater. He didn't shoot because he saw a guy wanting to have a situation where it was suicide by cop. And he did what all of us want our law enforcement to do, is to use rational and reason. When you see, with all the training that you've gotten, that if you can de-escalate a situation and not shoot, we want you to do that. But not in America, because he was ultimately fired. He was ultimately fired. Now just think of this thinking, this stinking thinking here. Because my nephew teaches English all over the world, and he sends me all kinds of footage about how the police departments operate in different countries. So this is how American police operate. Okay, they really are slave catchers, and they really feel that it is their right to shoot us down first. They think that's their birthright. Honestly, they're slave patrollers, and they have that mindset of the overseer to beat us, to kill us, to shoot us, and usually with any encounter. Okay, so, and I'm not going to listen to these new age people tell me I'm hallucinating about that. We have a very unique situation over here in America. So while we all may be one energy and one spirit, and I know that on a higher level, but on another level, we have the most different backdrop of any group here in America. And that cannot be negated. That cannot be overlooked. That cannot be made to seem like it's unimportant and minimized. Because that is part of the problem. We are not hallucinating. We are being mistreated. And you know that. Because all of you new age thinkers and that saying that black people just complain, how come when you're in the room and they ask you, do any one of you want to trade places with us? None of you say, okay, if it's all so equal. And you know why that is? Because you know there are situations and constructs set up for our destruction. And because you're privileged, you don't want to give that up. You would rather, just like any other flying monkey, turn your head and act like you don't see the projection, the abuse that's happening to African Americans. And so the thing about it is, well, you've also know that these social scientists have created conditions that make people go crazy. You've seen it with rats. You've seen it when you've taken animals and put them in a crowded condition and watched them eat off each other. They start killing each other. And then when you separate them now. First you had them in a crowded condition. You had them and they were eating each other and biting each other's feet off them. Then you separated them. and put them in different boxes. And guess what? They kept the same behavior. You know it. You social scientists know it because you do it and you put it on PBS all the time, which is my favorite station. You put it on public TV all the time. Okay, so I'm saying this to say, I don't want to say, oh, there was one, and there was one person that whose page I go to, like she corrected me, and she was absolutely correct. When I said that, you know, I said that America was full of narcissists, and I said we had to be the most narcissistic country, as if it was just confined or contained here. So she corrected me, and she said, no, I wouldn't say, that it's all over the world. And I agree with her. It is all over the world. But I believe it is the European countries. So this is what I'm saying. With America being a front runner, because she's the most maddest probably of all. But you got to remember that European Union, all of them, that's the mindset. The ones who created America just might be a little bit more roguish. That's all. That's just my opinion. So again, anytime you can get upset because you perceive me to be making excuses for bad behavior, which I'm not. I'm just calling it like I see it, about behavior and about narcissistic abuse that is done in this country every day, and the flying monkeys that carry it out, which are the control group and its clan. And myself, my people are being made to, we're gaslighted, we're split, we're everything that the narcissist does to the victim has happened to us from a pure narcissistic concept. Okay? So I don't make excuses for bad behavior. What I was just showing you was the parallel. I was trying to show you the parallel between you glorifying Al Capone and his cronies, but then act like the stuff you see in Chicago right now is just got a blueprint and a manuscript with a black face on it. And that's all I was saying. And guess what? You don't have to agree with me, because I know it's the truth. Alright? So, I wanted to get that out. Went over a little bit longer than I expected to, but hopefully y'all get where I'm coming from. And if you don't, oh well, just think about it for a little while. It might make sense. It may not. That's your prerogative. Alright, if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe and share. And I will see you next time in the mental house. Shout out to the 5150 Nation. Not afraid.